Ice Spice was everywhere. TikTok, the charts, and even sitting fronts role as major fashion events. But now people are asking, what happened to Ice Spice? Today we're going to be diving into her rise to fame and the cracks that led to her downfall. Was Ice Spice's career doomed from the start, or did she fail to live up to the hype? Without further ado, let's dive into this video.
Every single artist that Ice Spice has beef with or had beef with makes better music than her.
Who else got secondhand embarrassment from watching Ice Spice's performance at the 2024 BET Awards? Oh my god. This is why you don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Ice Spice. Born Isis Niger Gaston in the year 2000, she grew up with a Nigerian father who was also a rapper and a Dominican mother, and she was also exposed to diverse music and culture. After attending a Catholic school, Ice Spice briefly went to the Sunny Porches when she began her rap career. Her breakthrough moment came in 2022 when Munch, also known as Feeling You, went viral on TikTok thanks to its catchy hook and her unique look. And when I say unique, I mean unique. Ice Spice rocks this very orange, fringy, curls looking hair, and let me tell you something, it is really hard to see someone rocking that on a normal day because prior to Ice Spice going viral, people saw it as, let me just say, weird. They didn't see it as something that, should I say, a black woman or anybody at all could wear and rock and look pretty in. So that was why Ice Spice looks caught the attention of the public. And Ice Spice was definitely not an overnight success. She has been working towards making people know her music more, and she was also on TikTok prior to Munch blowing up. That was not all that made Ice Spice rather successful. Drake also co-signed her, and if you don't know who Drake is, then you're probably living under a rock. But Drake is one of the biggest artists of all time, and for one of the biggest artists of all time to be co-signing you, that is crazy. To even talk about you, a person or a female who is just new to the rap game, who is just new to the music industry, for someone as big as Drake to talk about her, then you know that something is up. According to people, Ice Spice was different from other female rappers. She wasn't overly aggressive and her energy resonated with Gen Z. After Munch went viral, Ice Spice quickly became the it girl of hip hop. Her unique look, her natural curls, and her Bronx swagger made her instantly recognizable. And for me too, when I heard about Ice Spice, I was thinking to myself, who's this new person in the music industry that feels more like an industry plant? We're definitely gonna get into that, talk about that. But it was quite a surprise for me. For someone to just come, release the music, and is an instant banger and didn't stop there, just kept going. And the fact that people were still keen on hearing her music more made me more than just surprised. Her EP Like debuted in January 2023 with hits like In Her Mood and Princess Diana. There's one I heard of and I really liked the beat too, even though I don't listen to secular music. I think is The boy's a liar, the boy's a liar. I cannot sing no matter what happens. Anyway, she collaborated with Nicki Minaj, and if you know, Nicki Bobby is basically one of the biggest artists, most especially biggest rap artists, especially female artists in the entire world. So for someone to just be coming into the limelight, you know, to the public eye and to be collaborating with Nicki Minaj, it is something unheard of. She also received brand deals with Dunkin' and Ivy Park and graced major fashion events like the Met Gala. In literally only a year of blowing up, you are attending the Met Gala. According to people, according to what I've heard, even the Met Gala themselves, they claim this. The Met Gala is only meant for people who are of high status. So if you're not invited, you can pay up to $75,000 just so you can attend. And that is a lot of money, a whole lot of money. So Ice Spice getting invited to the Met Gala when she just blew up, it is impressive. I'm gonna give credit when credit is due. Y'all know I always do this. I always give credit when I feel like somebody actually deserves that credit. Ice Spice, credit to you. She was celebrated for representing a new era of female rappers, confident, carefree, and unapologetically her. Her music resonated with a younger audience, making her a social media sensation and a cultural trend setter. We can't just talk about Ice Spice without talking about the thing that kind of made her go viral. Her body. Her body. Why do I say so? When Ice Spice first blew up, I noticed a lot of inconsistencies in her behavior. Yes, Ice Spice got the body, she has the behind. She has a really nice body and she used her body a little too much, to the extent that whenever Ice Spice is invited to perform, this girl is always shaking her butt. Always shaking her butt. For what? Even got to a point whereby whenever she's singing, no one sings along with her until she starts to shake. Then you hear the crowd saying something or singing or hailing her, which isn't supposed to be. I once saw a very creepy video of Ice Spice shaking her butt and not even making any facial expression at all. It has gotten to the point whereby you have to shake your butt for people to want to listen to your music, which is very jarring. We're still going to talk about it. We're coming back to that for sure. TikTok definitely contributed to Ice Spice's success because whenever TikTok gets their hand on an audio that they can use to dance or make something meme worthy, you're going to go for it. And Ice Spice music is perfect for this part. Ice Spice also joined social media and she made sure to use her audio and also encourage people to make use of her audio because TikTok helped her go viral in the first place. That is the main social media platform that skyrocketed Ice Spice's song to the moon. At her peak, Ice Spice was seen as refreshing, relatable, and authentic in a world of overpolished celebrities, which is true. I definitely felt that sense of a regular person who just wanted to sing, because it's not every single time you as a person has to look polished, perfect. You're going to show your Bronx style, or she showed her Bronx style, where she originated from, the normal way she dresses, the normal way she acts, the normal way she expresses herself. And for real, that would actually resonate with a lot of people to see that an actual person who made a viral song looks like this, acts like this, and also expresses themselves like this, which made Ice Spice go viral more and more. The turning point when things began to unravel over saturation. Now, you know how I said Ice Spice was relatable? It got to a point by mid 2023 when Ice Spice was no longer seen as relatable. She was basically everywhere: ads, collaboration, and constant social media content posts. Now, people stopped seeing her as relatable because they know now that she has a lot of money, or she has made a lot of money from her music. Fans were definitely getting tired of seeing her in every corner of pop culture. Another one is lack of diversity. The reason I use lack of diversity instead of repetitive, that was the reason I used lack of diversity. Ice Spice's music basically had similar beats and lyrical themes. Like, fans wanted more depth, they wanted change, but Ice Spice kept on sticking to the same formula that works for her. And I know that I see a lot of people giving advice, which is totally fine. Stick to what works for you. I see that a lot of times, even when it comes to thumbnails. If you're in a thumbnail and you're opening your mouth and it gets 100,000 views, then open your mouth to the next one, right? Stick to something that works for you. But one thing about that is that over time it starts to get old, especially when it comes to music, because there are a lot of artists out there that will basically do anything to get the kind of fame that Ice Spice had at that point. So for her releasing the same music over and over again, the same beat, the same lyrics, like why is Ice Spice singing about poop? Why is she singing about poop? And why is the beat almost the same thing? Just like gung 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 gra gung 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 gra gung gung. Well, basically repeat. I ain't gonna say that word again. It lacked diversity. At this point, people started to wonder, is Ice Spice really an industry plant or she's not? Why is she not releasing new songs? Not only new songs, but good songs that had a bop to it. It felt like her music career was just static, releasing the same songs over and over again. It felt like she didn't want to find a new formula. She just wanted to stick to what worked for her. Also, I mentioned the performance before. Ice Spice's performance are lackluster. She basically doesn't put any effort. I believe like when she comes on stage and she's singing, the only thing she has in mind is, how am I gonna bend down and twerk? Ice Spice definitely has talent. She didn't get here all of a sudden. It wasn't just a miracle. Okay, probably it's a miracle because that song blew up, even though it was only one line. It thought I was feeling you. At this point, our fans were already tired of listening to our music because it's the same thing, and they started to wonder, is Ice Spice a one-hit wonder? That is the same word over and over again. Competition. Now, this plays a very huge role because at this same time, newer rappers like Lato and Gloria started to blow up everywhere because they offered something new. They offered something different. At this point, I think Ice Spice was already feeling the heat because they offered something different and it was drawing the attention from her, which explains why she was getting into multiple controversies and controversies. Let's talk about it. Now, I mentioned Drake earlier. One of the biggest artists in the world basically co-signed Ice Spice, which is impressive. Well, there was a controversy about that because Drake ended up unfollowing Ice Spice, which people were surprised because why did someone or an artist that big co-sign a new upcoming artist that have not even been in the game for even a year and then unfollow them later? That raised a lot of questions and people started coming for Ice Spice for doing something wrong or thinking she did something wrong. That was our first controversy, which may not be seen as a controversy, but it definitely caused a lot of uproar. Now, the major scandal or controversy. Ice Spice's ex-best friend, Baby Storm, came out to expose her. Ice Spice told Baby Storm, who is her ex-best friend, that Nicki Minaj is so full of herself. Yes, Nicki Minaj, Barbie herself. Like I said before, Nicki Minaj is one of the biggest rappers in the world, if not the biggest female rapper in the world ever known to man. And just by saying that, you should know that her fans come in hard. I believe over the years, everyone has already come to know how bad Nicki Minaj's fans always stand up for her. It is quite impressive, but not in the sense that I approve of bullying. No, I do not. Definitely, I do not. But I'm still surprised the fact that Nicki Minaj has so much power. Even her not even saying anything, her fans will just come for you. And that was the start of Ice Spice's fall. Oh, also the fact that she doesn't know how to sing. But then people started coming for her. No one was listening to her music because people were trying to say that why is it that a big artist gave you the opportunity to come into the mainstream media and to, should I say, set your foot down and remain there, and you go ahead to bash her, which is not really surprising. I know that Ice Spice just got into the mainstream media at that point, but that doesn't mean she doesn't have opinions, which makes me kind of mad that her friend needed to go that extra mile to expose her just because they were no longer friends anymore. Because let's be for real, you are a normal human being, I am a normal human being, I have my own opinion, and whenever I am not comfortable, I would like to share it with somebody. So Baby Storm, knowing that she was the one who Ice Spice always comes to share how she feels, for her to release that chat, is basically diabolical, because I don't even understand. I can't even comprehend why someone who claims to be my friend, even though we're no longer friends, would do such a thing to me. And that is why I do not support what Baby Storm did. Anyways, that didn't still stop people from coming from Ice Spice's neck. It was really, really bad, I won't lie. Baby Storm also accused Ice Spice of using Cleopatra to appear more black. We're going to be talking about Cleopatra now. Cleopatra is also an ex-best friend to Ice Spice, and Baby Storm accused Ice Spice of using Cleopatra, which is also Ice Spice's ex-best friend, to appear more black. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Ice Spice's father is a Nigerian man, which makes Ice Spice half black, but she's a light-skinned black woman, or she's a mixed woman. So according to Baby Storm, she was using her best friend, which is her ex-best friend, to appear more black to the public so that black people could support her more. Now, this is where Cleopatra comes into the whole story. Just a few months back, Cleopatra exposed Ice Spice for treating her badly during a tour. It was a Y2K tour, and according to Cleopatra, Ice Spice didn't tell her that the tour was happening, or didn't invite her to the tour until just a day, I believe a day or 2 days before the tour was about to kickstart. And Cleopatra was the first to perform. And even at that, Cleopatra claimed that Ice Spice didn't give her a comfortable room, and Ice Spice made her pay for every single thing she was using or she wanted to use, even though she was invited to the party. She also said she misplaced her purse. It was a whole thing. Baby Storm, who is Ice Spice's ex-best friend, and also Cleopatra, who is also Ice Spice's ex-best friend, they are both exposing her. What people think? If one person comes forward and say, oh, this person is a bad person, and shows you proof that they are a bad person, you might not believe them. But if another person comes forward and say the same thing, then you're going to hold that person and say, you are actually a bad person. And that is what happened. Ice Spice stopped becoming relevant. This was when a lot of people started expressing their concerns about Ice Spice. Was she really an industry plant, or did she just fail to meet other people's or her fans' expectations? A lot of critics argued that Ice Spice wasn't built to stay for a long time. She is an industry plant, according to critics, but her fans kept on coming forward to say Ice Spice is just going through a lot. Give her time for her to revive and come back to normal. I don't know why I said normal, like she isn't normal, but you get the point. A lot of her fans argued that Ice Spice needs to be given the chance because she's been through a lot, which is true, a lot of controversies, because I know how people are. People can literally send you unaliving threats just because you did something that minor. So I think it's quite valid what her fans were arguing. Where is Ice Spice now? Despite the controversies and criticism, Ice Spice didn't disappear. She continued to make music, which leads us to her latest controversies with Central C and his girlfriend, Maddie. So, I believe now it's obvious that that whole drama and controversy was just a PR stunt, because Ice Spice was already noticing that she's no longer as relevant as she used to be. She decided to pull off a PR stunt. She released a new song with Central C, and to promote the song, they made it look like as if Ice Spice stole Central C from his girlfriend Maddie and allegedly made Maddie make a video regarding that, basically saying that they stole Central C from her and she found Central C cheating on her. Even went as far to post a screenshot of Central C and Maddie basically breaking up with each other and talking to each other like they're just friends. It is quite crazy how far people go for PR stunts, allegedly a PR stunt. Even after everything, it didn't work. It didn't make her go viral or make her relevant all of a sudden, because the Y2K album that she released still flopped. I mean, it flopped. Even after everything that she did, all the PR stunts, all the drama, the music still flopped. That is why I keep on saying, if your music is trash and your character is good, People won't just ignore the fact that your music is trash and listen to the song because your character is good. You need to maintain a good character, which is fine. You need to also have good music for people to actually listen, because if your music is straight up bad, no one will willingly, if they don't find it good, no one will willingly sit down there and listen to bad songs over and over again. Ice Spice quickly went from 40 million active listeners on Spotify to 16 million, which is still a lot, but she definitely dropped. Her songs haven't charted as high as he used to when she was still very, very popular, and her public appearances have become less frequent. Reflection and analysis. What went wrong? Ice Spice's story is not just about her, it's mostly about how the music industry just hypes up artists, like bring them out, hype them up to an extent, and when they feel like they're no longer relevant, they just push them aside, which is not actually supposed to be. While her music captured the moment, the lack of artistic growth and industry challenges had made it harder for her to sustain that momentum. And that is not all. Let's not forget about the artists that fell, or should I say they stopped being relevant, and all of a sudden they came up with good music that people want to listen to. So I'm not saying this is the end of Ice Spice. They can also be a turning point for her. Where there's a low, there's also a high. I hope Ice Spice comes up with something new, something amazing. She starts to get more inspiration and reclaim her spotlight.
Okay, so I'm clocking in here because I need to say something. Ice Spice also lost her spice when she lost her body. Basically, Ice Spice went on a weight loss journey and she lost all that spice, meaning that as she became slimmer or thinner, her butt went along with it. So she no longer has a big butt. And that's why I said women shouldn't have to show their body before they become relevant, because once you're no longer deemed as attractive, or once you lose that your body, you become irrelevant, which makes no sense. Now that's the state of Ice Spice right now. She's going to perform and people are only focusing on her behind instead of the music that she has to offer. That is just all I have to say regarding that. Ice Spice has fallen because she lost her body. That's all I have to say. Women shouldn't have to show their body before they become relevant.
The conclusion. What I just have to say in conclusion is that Ice Spice is not the only reason for her downfall. The music industry also plays a huge part, and I feel like a lot of people have a problem with the fact that when someone goes viral and the person is no longer relevant, the music industry just kicks them away or just stops caring about them, not being able to stand up for them and say this is not right. And one thing about rappers, mostly rappers these days, is the fact of how whatever they did in the past always comes back to bite them. And because of Ice Spice didn't have a strong fan base, like she was an up and coming artist, even though she had a lot of hits, she didn't have a very, very strong fan base, and most of her virality had to do with her body, which is the problem. I don't know why people don't want to open their eyes to what is actually going on. If you know that you are talented, where's the need of showing your body? There are a lot of female black rappers out there that don't show their body, but they have talent. And why have you not seen them in the mainstream media? Why are they not as popular as Ice Spice, who's getting herself into multiple controversies? Because they don't show their body. And that is a huge problem that I have, and I want us to actually talk about it. It's definitely gonna be a video, and the day I finally talk about it, y'all should be here to listen. So what do you think? Did Ice Spice lose all her spice? Or was she set up for failure by an industry that values virality over talent? Let me know in the comment section below, and also feel free to recommend any topic for me to talk about, and I'm definitely going to talk about it if I can talk about it. Anyways, that's all for this video. Thank you all for watching to the end, and I'm going to see you in the next one.